Good morning to one and all. Today we will discuss the structural and functional already you know that eco means surrounding us or covering us, surrounding us or covering us. System means a physical unit which with functional component. So in the ecosystem we have discussed about the structural unit, what are the different components of the ecosystem, how the ecosystem is divided, what is the smallest unit of the ecosystem, which is the biggest unit, what it is called, why the biggest unit biosphere is called as a global ecosystem, what are the man-made ecosystems, what is terrestrial ecosystem, what is the definition of ecosystem, and how the interactions are taking place. Now in this functional component we will try to understand what is abiotic factor, what is biotic factor. So in the structural components, structure means a physical unit. Function means this physical unit function here is interaction or integration is integration. So what are integrated in this? Generally abiotic factors and biotic factors. Abiotic means non-living things. Biotic means living organisms. What comes under living organisms? You know the characteristic features of a living organism. So the living organisms include plants, animals, bacteria, most of the decomposers like fungi and so on. Coming on to the abiotic factors, sunlight, water, soil, climatic conditions, cycle of temperature, chemical components. So this is how the categorization, how they are interlinked. You know that we are dependent on animals like humans. Humans are dependent on plants. for food, plants for food. Humans are dependent on animals for milk, meat, clothes and domestication. And plants are dependent on sunlight. Animals are dependent on plants. Animals the plants are dependent on sunlight, plants are dependent on water, plants are dependent on soil and the type of climate. So this is how the interaction is there. And okay, these animals, when all these living organisms die, they undergo decomposition. The decomposition will depend on the dead body of animals, dead bodies of animals, and they convert the bacteria, fungi and earthworm. They depend on the soil or the dead matter, and they convert that into nutrients. They convert them into the nutrients. So this is how the integration is taking place. So here ecosystem can be learned as a physical structure and is a characteristic feature of an ecosystem. It is a physical structure with functional component which is a characteristic feature of the ecosystem. So here we can identify, we can differentiate, we can separate and we can enumerate, that is identification and enumeration. That is, enumeration means counting of the species in an ecosystem is called stratification. So here we learn about the structural component and physical component, how they are interacting, what is a physical unit, how they are affected with each other, and how we will. So here we will try to learn about these things. Here vertical distribution of different plant species, plant or different vertical distribution of different plant or animal species in a strata. Strata is called stratification. So before stratification is done, which is very one important, one more question and need bit also, need point of also, this is very important question. Okay, now before this stratification is done, the Identification and enumeration. Identification and enumeration of species is done. So, what is identified? How you are identified? Anyone can answer this question? Yes, identification means my name is, so I am identified by this name, means my identification is done. Likewise, worldwide brinjal is called as brinjal, means brinjal species. Capsicum, one species. Crow, one species. Human, one species. Dog, one species. So this is called as identification. Enumeration, counting. If we take Chickodi, Chickodi population is approximately 35,000. Means 35,000 humans are 35,000 number of humans are present. Number, this indicates number. And brinjal, for 1 kilo, how many brinjal will come based on the size? Size is big, 5. Size is small, 20. So here enumeration means counting. Capsicum, like that. So here species means these are the species. So identification of a species, counting of a species, and arranging them in a vertical manner. Like when you take a forest as an example, forest. You take forest. Forest means what you can see in the forest. In the forest, you can see that plants. What type of plants? Plants are of several types, like grass. Can you count the grass? So obviously there will be, if you take it as a one of the members, grass, it will be around lakhs to crores. So assume that 1 crore. Next to the grass, herbs, small plants. When you take the herbs, they will be in lakhs. And if you take the shrubs, so somewhat, they will be in thousands. Plants, they are also in some thousands, like assume that trees, big trees, 10,000. Here 90,000. Here lakhs means 90 lakhs. Here 10 crores. So this is how. So when you want to arrange them, first based on the number, which plant should be arranged first? Obviously the grass, because of number. So grass will be arranged here. And the next one, herbs. Second place, herbs. Based on the third place, shrubs. And fourth place, tree. So this type of arrangement of the organisms of a particular species by counting the number in one above the other is called as stratification. So here trees will occupy the highest pyramid position, with low number. So this is what called the stratification. In order to understand this stratification, we will try to understand first the different structural and physical components of an ecosystem. Structure and physical components of the ecosystem. So when you try to see the ecosystem, so the components means individual units, specifically different components. When you try to understand the component, if we take bike, so bike means general bike, but bike will be having two wheels. So wheels are made up of Apollo or CEAT or MRF. So these companies are doing that. Now it has a petrol tank. So the company will make for that. It has a chain. Chain will be also of different origin. And it has certain components like switches, horn, buzzer, brakes. So these are all made from many other companies or same companies, but these all individually make one bike. Bike is a component, means in a bike all these components are present. In the similar way, in the ecosystem, they all function together to move the bike. Bike is an individual unit with different components present in it. So here you need to understand component means a different units combinedly function together to form a unit, function together to form a unit. They have a structural components and they have functional components. These all structural and functional components become a unit to run that system is called as a component. So here, so it is a component of function to a unit in ecosystem, in an ecosystem. So in the similar way, the structure and physical component of an ecosystem includes productivity, energy flow, decomposition, nutrient recycling. So productivity, product. When you go to the DMart, final price on the product. So what is the final price on the product? Final price we are not concerned. Product means a outcome. So outcome. What is that outcome? You keep one seed in the soil, that is rice seed, or it will give you thousands or 10,000 seeds. So your final product is these seeds. So in order to get that seeds, this seed should be supplied with minerals. The seed should be supplied with water, and seed should have certain climatic conditions. Seed should be supported with the temperature, and the other physical components like sunlight. So this, with all these structural components included, this one seed grow, develop, undergo photosynthesis and form the 1000 seeds. Means it is having the productivity. So the productivity of one seed, 2000 seeds. And in that, when you go into a DMart shop, so you will see when they keep all the different types of biscuits or different types of pulses, you select the good pulses, means which is having more thicker size, good looking, as well as bigger size. In some cases smaller size with neat appearance. So here that appearance to you is called as a product, means good product. So here the productivity in terms can be included as the biomass appearance, biomass lookup, or the biomass nature or taste, whatever it may be. So that is called as a product. Product means outcome. So your productivity means this, in terms of photosynthesis, the productivity is considered as a biomass accumulation. Biomass accumulation. Biomass accumulation. Energy flow. So in the ecosystem, the universal source of energy is sun. So sunlight will be received by the plants. Plants utilize that source, convert that source into organic matter, that is starch. So here organic matter or biomass is the productivity. And from the plants are eaten by the cow. Cow utilize that. Cow is eaten by the lion. Lion utilize that. Lion dies. That is utilized by the bacteria. Bacteria convert them into minerals. So this is how the flow of energy takes place in the ecosystem through the structural components. So here that is the energy flow, the movement of energy from one source to the other source, which is generally unidirectional. Unidirectional. And decomposition. Composition, breaking down of dead and decaying matter by the decomposers. Breaking down of the materials or organic materials substituted by the growth of the plants, animals or the higher carnivores, and degrading them by the different after the death of the animal is called decomposition. Composition means complex molecule. D means splitting the complex molecule into simpler molecules. Splitting is called as decomposition. And nutrient recycling. By splitting the decomposed material, the nutrients are once again reaching to the soil surface for further communication, further plant growth. So these are the four called as the structural components of an ecosystem, which are the functional units also, structural and functional. You cannot see them as a structural components, but they are the part of a structure and functional units. So these all should happen in each and every organism for their as to the ecosystem to run in a normal way. To understand this ecosystem ecosystem components. To understand this ecosystem components in an ethos, we take the example of aquatic ecosystem. So in the aquatic ecosystem, we see many components, that is sea, ocean, pond, lagoon, small pond. So in this, to understand these physical components and structural components, how they are interacting with each other, so we will take a good example of small pond in an ecosystem, and we will try to understand that, because all the components of the ecosystem are studied. Some may lacking that, but most of the components, because most of the major requirements for an ecosystem is present in the small pond. So when we take the example of a small pond, then the small pond is generally have this all components of an ecosystem, how the energy flow. So in this small pond, we take the physical factors. Physical factors are, so for essentiality of life, what are the physical factors required? Universal source of energy is sunlight. So sunlight is one of the major requirements, that is light or sunlight. Water is the major requirement. Third is the nutrients. Fourth is the soil. In this only nutrients are present. Fifth is the maintenance of temperature. Sixth is climatic conditions. So these are all the physical factors. Functional factors. So biotic factors like phytoplankton, means algae, zooplankton, insects. To eat these insects, small fishes, insects and larvae, fishes. To eat these fishes, bigger fishes. To eat the different type of fishes, crane, hawk or kingfisher. So this is how a pond ecosystem consists of the biotic factors, abiotic factors, and how the interaction is taking place. So when you see onto a pond is a shallow body with phytoplanktons present here. Phytoplanktons are here. Phytoplanktons and certain marshy on the end and certain floating plants on the top, and along with that the pond status, the insects which are swimming on the top, and the fishes mostly fishes in the middle. To eat these small fishes, so this is how the composition is present. Now, phytoplanktons, just like algae, will form the base of a food chain, because the plants, especially the green plants, will take the food, prepare the food by taking the sunlight, and they will prepare food. Whatever the food they prepare, they will store them for their future use. But certain insects will take this food. So from the insects, so as the insects are taking, they want to store the food for future, but the fishes are not getting much food. So either they depend on these algae or certain insects based on the nature of insectivorous or herbivorous. So they are differentiated into, so they depend on these two. So these food, they will accumulate the food. They will be also taken by the other group of animals on that. So here there is a continuous movement of food, that is from the algae to insects,